All right. Well, hello everyone. My name is Haven, and I am with a good friend of mine. Introduce yourself.
This is OG Original God over here talking Diablo today
Yeah, talking Diablo
with
4.
Haven over here.
Yeah. So
Hello Twitch.
we were talking about Diablo 4, and we decided, hey, why not? Let's why not podcast this? Be like a first podcast for me. I'm sure it's a first podcast for him, right?
Yep, that is correct.
So, uh, so what are your expectations for Diablo 4? I mean, what do you expect to see what do you expect them to kind of put out there that will be for your better gaming experience? I guess would be the terms.
Well, so far with the gameplay and everything that I sent to you via Discord, I mean it looks fantastic. The lighting, the coloring, they're bringing runes back. I mean I don't know necessarily how that's going to function. So far, I mean, it looks great. I don't want to get my hopes up, especially with how Diablo 3 kind of panned out.
Yeah, understandable.
From when they released the trailer to, actually releasing the game, and then that whole thing with the creator getting, canned and.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know. So far from the trailer and the gameplay, it looks fantastic. It's like a mirror image of Diablo 2, but obviously we don't want Diablo 2 revamped. I mean, if they do that, we want it as a standalone remake.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think that this is definitely a good transition from Diablo 2, skipping over Diablo 3 and kind of going back to the roots. Which to
definitely.
me, that's the best experience that I could have is going back to the roots of what Diablo was founded on.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from. Like, I remember all those years ago, us just playing Diablo 2 and just having the time of our life, just going from like just going and killing Bale or doing Ubers, and even those not so good times when we would tell people we were duping only to jack their stuff. I mean, it was a fantastic time. I have so many good memories of playing Diablo 2. And then the fact that we had to wait 12 years for anything from Blizzard, and then Diablo 3 come out, and it's like, I mean, it was fun playing Diablo 3 for like the first 5 minutes, and then it was like, okay, we got to rely on the auction house to get some good stuff. And it was kind of a turning point. And I kind of was like, do I really want to keep playing? I mean, as a big fan of Diablo, I was like, yeah, I want to keep playing because, I don't want to put these shortcomings in the way. And so, I continued to play Diablo 3 and I grinded it out. But, after so long, it was like, something's missing, and it was the fun. I couldn't find the fun in it. I found the grind, don't get me wrong, I found the grind, but there was just no fun in it. And so I'm hoping that with Diablo 4 that it brings really the joy and fun. I mean, I get it, it's a dark and gloomy game, but that's what makes it so good. It really just, it takes away from like the Fortnite or the Overwatch, because you got all these bright and colorful happy-go-lucky games, but Diablo kind of just like, hey, let's take it back to before happy-go-lucky. Let's go back to the times when shit was real, where everything was serious. Like
grungy, dark, scared when you're by yourself type shit, man. No, and definitely, with Diablo 3, I think the one thing that has kept this freaking game above ground is season, just kind of like ladder.
It's like its own ladder pretty much.
2, the reset and bringing, they should have added some items in Diablo 3 that weren't, I'm not sure, but items that weren't available into non-season that you could only get in season. I'm not sure if they did that. If they did, it's not very noticeable. In Diablo 2, I mean, you couldn't get certain rune words unless you played ladder.
I mean, let's look at it like this.
And then when ladder reset, it came to regular.
I mean, let's look at it like this. Compared to from Diablo 2 to Diablo 3, remember how much of a grind it was to get just something remotely good?
Oh yeah.
It was so complex. Like just to get a certain rune, just one rune. You had to grind Bale out so hard. And in Diablo 3, all the good shit drops within a couple of Nephilim rifts and you're good to go,
Well, and plus the grind, it took longer.
Yeah,
So when you first started, you had to do the Kane quest to rescue Kane.
yeah,
Then you had to do Tristram runs, and those Tristram runs you'd be doing for hours on end just to get to
yeah,
level 15. Then when you got to level 15, you would do cow level runs until around 2025,
yeah,
and then you could go to start doing your
and
quests
yeah.
and get done with the whole normal difficulty. If you had someone that rushed you, you had to be at least level 20 to do the Ancients quest to be able to do bail runs.
Yeah, I mean, there were
Um,
certain restrictions to certain things. As for Diablo 3, there isn't really any restrictions. I mean, it's like,
uh,
and plus, if you notice, like
just
leveling,
difficulty restrictions for
yeah,
public games.
I mean, leveling in Diablo 2 was a real grind versus like Diablo 3. You could get to 70 just in about an
In
hour.
one game.
Yeah,
Yeah, in one game.
yeah, in
I
one game,
mean,
and then it's just paragons from
getting to
there.
99, bro. Do so many bail runs. Oh my god.
I
I
mean,
think I don't even think I ever made it to 99. I think the highest level character I ever had was the Hammerden Paladin at 98.
yeah, I think right now,
And
my paladin right now, my hammered-in is 87, 88. Like, it's just to go from each level, it takes longer and and once you hit 90, it's over with, because it's like it's gonna take about a year probably, I would imagine, just to get to 99 once you hit
yeah.
90. Like,
Oh yeah, and let's not forget the when you died, you got reprimanded.
yeah, you would lose XP
You lose XP.
and
So
gold.
like if you were 98 and you had you've been grinding probably 5 games and then you died, all of those games became irrelevant. All that XP was
Yeah,
gone.
so it was real consequences to death once you hit a certain point.
Consequential death is as much as it is annoying, it made you not want to die.
Yeah, you actually were more careful about how you did things.
Yeah, it was more strategic.
And that was the thing about hell. It was like, like normal, everything was good, but when you hit hell, all the monsters that you previously fought in the last 2 difficulties, they were nothing compared to hell, because like certain monsters have resistance. You even had monsters resistances to physical attacks, or say you had a character built on cold attacks. May God have mercy on your soul if your character was just like your sorceress was just pure cold, because if you came across cold resistant monster, you were done with.
Yeah, that's why Paladin Hammerdens were the best, because there was probably maybe one elite squad that was immune to magic. Everything else in hell mode, if you did a sorceress, I really felt for you, because as sorceress you only had fire, you only had cold, and I forget lightning.
Yeah, lightning.
Only had lightning. And in hell mode, everything was immune to all of that. Yes,
and you better have somebody with you that could counter that shit. And that's what I liked about Hammered In, because even though there was some that was resistant to magical attacks, they weren't resistant to holy attacks.
Yeah.
So your hammer's name may not do damage, but if you got Holy Bolt, you're gonna cause some chaos.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. No matter what class you picked, something had an upper hand on you, because even like if you use the Zeal Paladin, okay, the fast hitter freaking monster of a build, okay, you would go and you'd fight the Chaos. I forget what they were called, but basically they had that ability that a necromancer had, which was Iron Maiden. Yeah, Iron Maiden. When you attacked them, it did damage. It reflect damage to you instead.
It was Thorns, wasn't it?
Did to them. No. Thorns attacks passively. That was a paladin skill that it was an aura. And when you had that aura active, it would do damage to the enemies around you. But
I think they were called Oblivions. I think they were called Oblivions.
Yes,
or something
they
like
were. Yes, they were. Okay, so they would cast Iron Maiden, which was a curse that reflected damage done to you onto the attacker.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was freaking awesome. I mean, as annoying as it was, it couldn't be transferred to hammers. It couldn't be transferred to skills, but if you did physical damage, you were going to end up doing that damage.
If you're a barbarian, have good luck.
Yeah. And it was always annoying because your merc physically attacks.
Let's talk about mercs. Remember mercs? Okay. Remember that? Remember when we had mercenaries that they were just there. They didn't need a story. They didn't need a plot. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the mercenaries you had in Diablo 3. I mean, the fact
Yeah,
that
but
they
I
had
never paid attention to
yeah,
that
I mean,
story. Who gives
I
a
didn't really
crap?
care, but I liked the way how you had mercs. You had ones that had, it's like, okay, which act merc did you want? You want Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 5? You had different, you had like 4 different merc classes.
Per act, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they not only
let's
that,
be
but they
honest,
also
the
had
best
different
one
skill
was second
sets.
act.
Yeah, they also had like different skills too, like different skill tree sets. Like the mercs in Act 2, there was passive or defensive auras, and then you had offensive auras, and there was like another one too, right? And then Act
Yeah,
3 had
so
cold,
all
fire.
of them had that, but yeah, they varied based on which act.
Yeah.
Same as skills. My favorite was Act 2 just for the what was it called?
Well, they had the
It
offensive
was
and
a ladder
defensive.
only. It was a ladder only rune word. I can't remember what it was called,
I
and
don't
I
know.
feel stupid for not remembering. But when you put that, like, you had the fortitude armor,
Yeah.
which was the best for your mercenary. High defense,
Oh, it's
damage
the it was
specs.
on it, they had it on the it was the spear, right?
What?
There was a spear. It was like you put it on.
Yeah, it was it was a spear, and I can't remember what it was, and it was in the ladder only room. So it was really high worth. Like if you wanted to get it, it was like 28 to 30 high runes. And that's another thing is gold wasn't a trading commodity. I mean, it was, especially if you had a wormhide enigma, because
Yeah.
the durability specs were so low that your repair
Oh yeah.
would
He had.
be
Oh, I know.
ridiculous.
Like freaking. Oh man.
Gold was a commodity, but when trading, high rune words
Rune words were the
were
trades right there.
the trades, man. That was awesome. That
Yeah.
was awesome.
And that's what with Diablo 3. Like I really felt like the gold. I mean, it
Yeah, it
mattered
sucked that you
at first. It
can't
mattered at
trade.
first, especially with the auction house. It mattered, but as time went on, I removed the auction house. I felt like gold kind of lost its worth because
Oh
you're not
yeah.
buying stuff from vendors. All you're really doing, if
No.
anything, is repairing. That's all it's really there for at this point.
I mean, right now in my inventory, I got 355 million. For no reason,
Exactly. Yeah. See, we got so
other
much
than
gold.
to empower greater rifts, but
Yeah. So
yeah.
I'm on a page that's saying everything we know about Diablo 4. We're gonna kind of shift gears here. So
Okay.
with Diablo 4, they're talking. Okay, let's see. It says, "What are the Diablo 4 starting classes?" Well, it's from what they've shown in the videos so far. Is we got the barbarian, the sorceress, and the druid. Now, how do you feel about them constantly bringing back the barbarian?
I've never been a fan of the barbarian. I kind of always wondered why they keep bringing him back. I mean, I get it. A lot of people like the barbarian. I just, I'm not the one for physical. Like,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
I'm
know,
not a
man.
tank.
I don't know what it is about barbarians that I just don't really care for.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I'm not a tank. I mean, I get it. I tried the Crusader. I like the Crusader. The Crusader's pretty good, and I've tried the Monk. The Monk, I couldn't really set up too properly, but I don't know. Just with Barbarian, like I don't know. I'm just not a tank kind of person. I'm more DPS, but I mean, maybe that's why I don't really like it. But I mean, when it comes to tank perspectives, it's like they just, oh, if we're gonna bring a tank in, let's keep bringing the Barbarian back. Why not do something different? I mean, bring the Barbarian back maybe later on. Give people a chance to not be a Barbarian for once.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I think the whole reason they kind of brought him back is I think just barbarian was in all the, whereas the other characters maybe not so much. I'm not really sure.
I mean, lore perspective, yeah, the
I
Barbarian
like
had a big
tank.
part.
I like tank. Like right now, we kind of brought that up, and I immediately am now creating a hammered in crusader.
Yeah.
Just because I love tanking when it comes to hammers. I don't know why. I guess the spiraling outward, like you're in the middle, your hammers are spiraling outward,
You're AoE
attacking
pretty
other
much.
enemies.
Yeah.
AoE. Whereas barbarian, I really don't know what it is. I've just never been a barbarian fan.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
Weird.
like I said, I could see them. I mean, I would prefer, bring back another kind of tank, any other tank, and bring the Barbarian back later on, like in a future patch or something like that. Give people a chance to branch away from the Barbarian,
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure.
I'm pretty happy that they're bringing the sorceress back, even though the sorceress was pretty much the wizard, or the wizard was pretty much the source.
Yeah,
But
but I kind of wanted to steer away from Arcane, really.
yeah. So I
Like,
wonder what they're doing with the swords. Are they going to have the same as they did in Diablo 2, where it's lightning, cold, and fire? Or are they going to add arc again? Or what are they going to do? You know, what? That's what's piquing my curiosity with the source.
so according to the video that I sent you, it's kind of, you can use it all.
So there's
You
no
can have,
real
yeah, you can kind,
specifics.
so you can use lightning, which they have this awesome chain lightning that they've added, all right, which I think is really cool, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play with. Is you become the lightning, your character becomes the lightning, and you just start moving through enemies while, just chain lightning everything.
Not gonna lie, it sounds
Which
pretty badass.
that is pretty badass. And
Sounds pretty
your whole
badass.
body could just turn into lightning, and you're just an orb floating in the air, and you're just attacking enemies. Like, that's
That's
so
pretty crazy.
legit.
It makes me
So
want to play
legit.
Source.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then, you can come out of that and then cast fire. So you can kind of spice up the different abilities and different elements.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Now,
God, Lee, man, Michael just keeps calling me, bro. I'm in the middle of something. I'll call you back.
yeah. Yeah. Now with Druid, I'm pretty excited because I don't know if you remember, but I was a big Druid fan. You know, I love Druid.
Oh yeah.
Now I hope they do the Druid justice. I don't know. I mean, from what I've seen, where he turns into a werebear, but it doesn't seem like he stayed a werebear like he did in Diablo 2, where when you turn into a werebear or werewolf, you were it for a good minute. You know, you didn't like it wasn't like a cooldown kind of thing. So I'm curious to know how they're really going to play that out. You know, along with
Yeah,
elementals stuff, and
yeah.
also summonings. Like, are they going to keep like what are they going to do with summonings? Are they going to do like they did with Diablo 2, where it's the wolf, the carrion vine, the heart of the oak, or whatever? You know, what are they going to do with all that? You know,
So the one thing that I do really like about Diablo 4 is not being anchored to one element of skills.
yeah,
So with the druid, yeah, the werebear is more of like a left click attack, and you turn into a werebear as long as, or a werewolf, as long as you are attacking. Which, I don't know. Turning into a werewolf, yeah, that was fun. I think it's going to be interesting to kind of see this concept. I think it's going to be more strategic. Like, should I turn into a werewolf? Right now, because you also got to take into consideration the runes that are going to be beneficial to you as well.
yeah,
You've got reaction runes, and then you've got effect runes. So you might have a reaction rune that says when you turn into a werewolf, the next rune is activated. So it's gonna kind of bring more strategic moves. Like, I'm not gonna turn into a werewolf until he's lower on, this boss is lower on health, because my rune will activate, or et cetera, et cetera. And then your right click would be more like, turning into a werebear and slamming the ground, and then immediately going back into attacking as a werewolf.
yeah.
Um, so
I
I mean,
mean,
I
I
kind of
don't,
like
yeah,
that aspect. I think it looks pretty cool, but I
yeah,
mean, until we play it,
yeah. It's really
I don't
getting our
know.
hands on it, feel what's really going on. So,
Yeah.
let's see. Another thing I want to discuss before we continue on with this. I wonder what are they going to do with the whole teleporting thing? Are they going to continue like in Diablo 3, or will they like have an enigma again as an armor set? I mean, if they're going to bring
I
back
really hope
runes,
they do. I really hope they do. One thing I did read, yeah, you had a teleport skill for the sorcerer or the wizard, but
yeah,
there was a cooldown, and it kind of defeated the purpose of speed running. You
yeah.
know,
I mean, that's really the only reason really people only had teleport was just to be able to just get through a certain area. You know,
oh,
like they didn't
absolutely,
want to deal
because
with the
we
ads.
don't want to run, get to the next area, because these maps are so big. We freaking go all over the map,
Just to find
and
where we need to
just
go.
not to find the next area, and then we have to run all the way back north or
Yeah,
something to get where we need to. Like, teleport was just, in Diablo 2, when you did bail runs, there, granted, there were only like 3 different maps, so I mean, it could be 1 out of 3 that you would
yeah,
know, okay, this is where the entrance is down here at the bottom right, or up here in the top left. But you could get to the runs quickly and just run people. and that was the grind of leveling. You didn't want to walk that whole way and waste 20 minutes.
Yeah, plus
People
killing
would
all those
leave the
ads.
game if they waited too long, or if they started seeing you die, they left.
Yeah, I mean, killing all those ads didn't really do anything. It was really what mattered when you got to Bale. When you got to the Bale room, throne of destruction, you took out all those waves, and that's where the real XP came in.
Right.
All right. So another thing I'm seeing here on this page that I'm looking at says ancient items are being replaced. So I think with ancient items, it's the highest tier items in Diablo 3 at the moment, right?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
The ancient items, they're the highest tier items in Diablo 3, right?
So primals. Primals are the highest tier.
I guess they're underneath that. Well, it says here ancient items are being replaced. So I don't.
So they're trying to make it to where legendary items are. They're kind of trying to steer clear from legendaries being the only beneficial items. They want rares to kind of feel like you're a badass too.
Yeah.
They kind of want to bring balance to rares and legendaries, which I'm not. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, it says right here in this article, it says, in Diablo 4, ancient items are no more. Instead, Blizzard is opting for a system that will hopefully encourage more unique playstyles. Players will earn a consumable that allows them to attach a legendary affix to non-legendary weapons, essentially creating your own ancient items.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and they're wanting to, and that brings us to crafting. They definitely want to bring crafting back into the mix.
I mean, crafting was kind of, I'm gonna say, it was kind of crappy in Diablo 3.
On Diablo 3.
Yeah, it was kind of crap.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, then they brought Anais Cube or whatever, or Kanai's Cube. I was like, like.
Yeah, it was a sad.
It was a crappy version of the Herodric Cube.
Yeah, it really was.
It was crappy.
Really was.
I'm not gonna lie there. Okay, and see right here. So another thing.
Stuck. Get me out of here. All right, there we go.
It says, say goodbye to inventory Tetris. So, yep, you heard right. No more shuffling various shapes around your limited inventory space trying to bring back just one more bit of loot.
Yes.
So what does that mean? Exactly.
So everything takes up one spot. Everything takes up one cube
okay.
in your
So it's like, so it's kind of like Torchlight, because Torchlight has that same. Like everything,
right?
It's not like a big item that takes up 6 squares. It'd be like, okay, it takes up 2 squares or it takes up 1 square, kind of thing. That sounds better. I can deal with that. I can deal with that.
Yeah, I kind of like that too. Inventory Tetris. I mean, it's not bad until you know that you don't have to have it.
Yeah. Well, see, the good thing about Diablo 3 that I like that I wish was in Diablo 2 was they added more inventory space. Like as the game, was aging, they're like, okay, in Diablo 3, it's like, oh, you only had two spots or 2 sections.
2 tabs.
Yeah, 2 tabs. And they're like, oh, let's add more tabs. It's like, thank you. I was so happy.
And the fact that it transferred between all your characters. You could.
Yes, that was
like I just did. I created my Crusader and I went in my stash, and of course I already had a weapon for it with the experience gem in it, so I could level this motherfucker up real quick. Like I'm already level 13. I haven't even been here for 2 minutes. So I do like that you can switch that, because I remember on Diablo 2, you had to have a friend, or you'd have to permanent.
Oh yeah, drop items and leave the game.
Yeah, drop items, leave game. And I can't tell you how many times I lost shit because I was impatient not to wait on my friends. Tried to make the game permanent by staying in it. I think it's like an hour or 2 hours. That way you could leave, switch characters, and the game would stay open for at least, 15 to 30 seconds.
Yeah, and I would get so scared that I would not be able to jump back into the game.
Well, and it was really hard to trust people. We had one friend, Phantom.
Yeah.
We had Phantom, bro, and he was probably the best
person. I know. I miss
him.
Hey, Phantom, if you're out there, you find this, man. You need to hit us up. You need definitely to hit us up, because, man, we miss you, bro. Yeah. We miss you. We need to get back into it.
We had great times, man. And if only Discord back then. I think I heard his voice one time, but mostly it was just through the game chat that we'd have to type out
Yeah.
everything we wanted to say.
Every time I get on Diablo 2, I always hope that I see him in a match, in a game somewhere.
Yeah.
I always hope that he's going back and
No,
playing
every
Diablo
time
2.
I create a new account, I always
Adam.
add that one.
Yeah, I think about that too. Like, oh, I need to add this fool just in case, because there may that one day he's gonna hop
Yep.
on. Yeah, I feel
Yep.
you on that. So okay,
I know, and now I can't really play Diablo 2. I've been trying to get on there, but now they don't use CD keys. It's digital,
it's
and I've
cancer
tried
now.
to go on their website and download it, and it still won't
Cancer.
let me.
You
So
just
I
need to
don't know
buy a
what
new
I
CD
need to
key.
do.
That's what you gotta
Yeah.
do. Okay, so right here, Diablo 4 has 3 new stats. So it's not like it was before. Where, like I think it's you gotta have strength or blah 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 or dexterity and all this other stuff. It's sitting there saying that they're gonna add angelic power, which increases the duration of all beneficial effects like self buffs or healing. Demonic
Mm.
power increases the duration of all negative effects like debuffs or damage over time. And ancestral power increases the chance of on-hit effects, aka increased proc chance. So what do you think about that? What do you think on them taking away, I guess, really like mana, like, okay, you got to have energy, this much energy or this much strength or this much dexterity to wear this item?
So I really liked in Diablo 2, I definitely liked how you could select your own. Like you could put it in strength, you could put it in mana, you could put it in health. I like the freedom of being able to choose my own attributes and where they're going.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, if you don't know the character, you're not going to do it right.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, that was the whole key about Diablo 2, and that's what they took away in Diablo 3. It was building your character the way you wanted it built.
Yeah.
Like with Diablo
Absolutely.
3, it's like,
And you
oh, we're
had
just
to
going to
know
throw
your
random
character.
stats into, well, not really random stats, but we're just going to give you stats on your character in Diablo 3. That way you ain't got to work. No. Let
Yeah.
me decide what is
Let
best for
me
my
decide
character.
because that goes with trial and error. If
Yeah.
you screw up your character, guess what? That's part of learning. That's part of perfecting your characters.
Yeah.
So like in Diablo 3, it's like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and put the attributes in for you. That way, you don't have to mess with that. No, I want to mess with that.
Yeah. I want to mess with it. I
Like I
want to
said.
be able to control how, because that's what makes it unique for me, because I know what I'm doing with my own character. That's part of the unique experience. You want to add a unique experience for each player. To be an individual in this world, then give us that option to be able to mess with our
Well,
stats.
and like I said,
attributes.
if you screwed up, it was your fault. You were
Yeah.
the only one to blame that your character was messed up.
Exactly.
In Diablo 3, if you're not doing a lot of damage, you're kind of like, the frick game, like I'm doing everything you're telling me.
Yeah.
What's a guy got to do?
Yeah, really, it's like you're relying on just the gear at that point. You're not relying on anything else but, oh, okay, I just need better gear. In Diablo 2, it's like I need better gear, but I also need my attributes set in the right spot, but I also need to make sure my skills are where I need them to be. See, you had more things to worry about, but also the more you had to worry about, the more unique your character and the better you could design your character to be the strongest character possible.
Yeah, and amongst that, making sure that, like, because with Phantom Bird, okay,
Yeah.
I remember being a Hammerden and I wasn't doing a lot of damage, and he was killing stuff left and right, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing that I'm not? And he's like, what's your damage at? Like, oh, it's 5K, and he's like, bro, you should be at 12K.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? So he taught me how to build my character, and this was back in a time that I was so young. I didn't read. I didn't read the skills.
Yeah, you didn't really give a shit. You just want to get in there.
Yeah, right. And if you didn't read your skills, you didn't know that some of the skills that you're not going to use are passively helping the skills that you're primarily using.
Yeah, that was the whole thing about me with setting up my classes or setting up my skills too. Like, I didn't know what would help benefit my character when it came down to it. Like, oh, you want to build a Hammerden. I didn't know what really helped at the time to really build a proper Hammerden.
Mm-hmm.
So that,
yeah,
I could see where you're coming from with like, it was hard to really design a true godly character.
But man, when you did, like, it felt
it felt so
good.
Great. Yeah.
You felt a sense of accomplishment because you were just like, yeah, man, I'm better than some of these cats out here that don't even know how to make a build, because you did.
See, that's how
you've been playing longer, so you know what it takes.
That's how I was on Open Battle.net when I found Hero Editor and I started making my shit God tier and wiping people when it came to PvP. Yeah, but
and then people would come to you and be like, bro, how do you do that? And it was so funny because I remember used to dupe that way.
Yeah.
And then there were times where we'd be like, yeah, we'll dupe it, and then we just felt like being dicks
I know.
and didn't
Well, you
dupe
got to
it and
realize
just
at
kept
first
it.
we didn't realize that Hero Editor would dupe shit. So we were actually taking shit from people. And I mean, I
Yeah.
feel bad now thinking about it, but it was, we were young, stupid, and we were just having
Yeah.
fun. But
I mean,
as time went on,
yeah,
we
because
realized Hero Editor, oh, you can actually duplicate shit. Okay, I'll make 15 badass charms for you. Here you go. And I'll do it for free. Because why the
yeah,
fuck not? Because I have that power.
exactly, exactly.
And see,
Yeah,
one thing I
Diablo
kind
2
of
was just
wish
a work of art.
I wish that Diablo 3 or Diablo 4 would end up being like have a single player aspect because I would like to see what the modding community could do. I would like to.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they're not. They've already confirmed that
Yeah, it's gonna be
they're not
multiplayer
going to do that.
only. But you look at
Yep.
Diablo 2. Remember Median XL? It was a whole nother way of
Yes.
playing Diablo.
Modding it. Yeah.
Yes, that was so beautiful. I mean, I never did play
Yeah.
through it because I was so confused on how everything worked. Because Median was such an underground thing that you didn't really know the ins and outs of Median. But I like
Yeah.
the idea of like, okay, you get sometimes I ain't gonna lie, you get tired of playing Diablo 2 after a while. But the option to be able to play a modded version where everything's different, like maybe the quests are different, the skills are different, the armor, everything is different,
Yeah.
but you're still playing the same game, and I like that. I would like to see if they could allow modders to maybe, create, like maybe make quests, keep the game interesting, fresh, like Skyrim. You look at Skyrim and Fallout, you got modders that make quest lines and new armor and this. I would like to see that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Give the modders
Oh,
a
yeah.
chance to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. The creativity level on modders is, yeah,
It's unreal.
insane.
Yeah. Okay, so the next part is Diablo 4 monsters are classified as families. So Diablo 4's baddie classification will be a bit different from Diablo 3's. In D4, monsters will be part of families that share a fighting style. So far, Blizzard has talked about cultists, drowned, and cannibal families. So I I don't really understand that, I
Yeah,
guess.
I'm kind of lost on that one
Yeah,
too.
I'm kind of lost on too. It says in the first quarterly update, senior encounter designer Candace Thomas talked through the cannibals. They're intentionally designed with several melee type monsters, but no ranged. I don't know. It just sounds weird.
So yeah, they're just gonna come in close and eat your face off, apparently.
I guess I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. What else do we got here? Okay, well, Diablo 4 will support controllers for PC, and as a person who plays with controllers on PC, I I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, it sounds cool, but at the same time, with Diablo, I'm so comfortable with the mouse and keyboard aspect that I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. When Diablo was out, I'm definitely using mouse and keyboard. I
Yeah,
mean, that's just standard Diablo for me.
yeah, it's
And
standard
if you're
Diablo for
playing a
me.
first-person shooter, Call
Yeah,
of
it's
Duty or something, I
different. It's different.
understand. Yeah, I mean, some people do still like the mouse and keyboard. You've got more free range, with a mouse than you do analogs. And regardless of your sensitivity, really, you can turn on people pretty freaking quick.
Oh yeah,
But I know I will definitely be staying on mouse and keyboard. That's just how it's always been for me on Diablos. And that's not going to change.
yeah. So I'm looking at well, they have a list of skills for each class for the moment. Diablo 4 Druid class skills has the basic attacks with the Earth Spike, the Shred, Storm Strike, Maul.
Oh, and one thing
Puncher.
I wanted to add was actually, even they've so far the Druid Barb, they are coming out with 2 other characters upon release of the game. But we do not know what those are yet.
What do you
They have not
suspect?
been-
I suspect a Paladin in the works.
Oh, they better bring the Paladin back. I would be very fairly disappointed if they don't. I kind of was with Diablo 3 until they came out with the Crusader, and I was just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was
Like,
happy for that.
Now, I mean, Diablo 3, my favorite is probably the Demon Hunter, just because of the speed
Yes.
running. You can vault,
Yes.
and the damage is ridiculous. And the range, I mean, you can melt everything within, a football field of you.
You know what I want? I want I want there to be an angelic class. Like an angel. You can play as an angel. I think that would
be
really
cool if Tyrael was a playable character. But the only
Yeah.
thing about that would be is you're not going to be that powerful.
Well, that's where you say you're like an angel that because the heavens have fallen and now it's starting all over again.
Well,
that
I was
you
going to
also
say this is the perfect game to do that because the Nephilim around. This is, millenniums after that. So basically, what happened is once Mathael died, it just, you know, left the earth in shambles.
Yeah.
And then, the fact that we destroyed the Soul Stone has released, evils all over the world. So now would definitely be the perfect time to have an angelic character because, like in Diablo 3, if you would have had Tyrael as a playable character, it'd be whack.
Yeah,
Because you're
OP.
just
You'd be
like, oh my
overpowered.
God, he does nothing. And that just tells me that angels ain't shit,
Oh yeah. Oh, Tyrael was a badass, but I can see where you're going with like the angelic army is a whole different story. They were kind of garbage compared to us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you can tell just from who was the head guy? I can't even think of his name because
Imperious.
he was Imperious was such a prick.
He was, and see that,
like
but
he was so weak.
yeah, he was, and it's sad that he took on Diablo and got his ass kicked. We took on Diablo, and it was like, okay, what's next?
It definitely did give you a sense of feeling like that's
like,
the god of this reality.
Yeah.
That he's just turned his back on us.
Yeah.
That we've created our own, karma to where he doesn't even want to, be a part of it anymore.
And see, like, that's where, if you look into the lore of Diablo, that's where really things kind of, like, look back into the lore where the angels and demons were fighting. You had angels and demons that didn't want to be a part of the conflict, and so they were the reason Nephilims existed, because they found a world, called it Sanctuary, and made it and created human beings with powers. So I could see another perspective. I could see another idea of that where, say, like, okay, because of this conflict, a lot of angels have turned their back on the heavens, and a lot of demons have turned their back on the heavens, and they want to reside on earth and help humanity survive. And so we become like an angel, or become a demon that has turn our backs on, or who has turned their back on the heavenly realms or the hellish realms, and are willing to be soldiers to help humanity. So say we can play an angel, or we can play a demon. So I could see.
Well, I hate to cut it short, but dinner is served.
All right, we can always come back to this another time. So.
For sure. I'd definitely love to do this again.
Yeah, because there's a lot more to be discussed, but I'm sure we can find a time for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And if anybody wants to see any more content or other topics, just send it in via private message.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you have questions, ask us. I mean, we may not be the top tier Diablo experts, but I'm sure we can figure something out. We can look into it.
Absolutely, and it's not just limited to Diablo. If y'all want to see any other being talked about, just let us know.
Yeah. Well, it was nice talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, man.
I'll hit you up, and we can. I'm sure we'll have another good discussion here pretty soon.
Absolutely.
My name is Haevn Deathcore, and this is
Original God.
And we will see you on the next podcast. Bye bye.
See you next time.